Hey, I just want to tell you a little story about myself. When I was 17 years old, and this is the true story. When I was 17 years old, I told this girl that I was adopted. It's a lie. I wasn't adopted. I don't know why I did it. I liked her, and I guess I wanted her to pity me or something. I still can't tell you. It was the stupidest thing I've ever done. And I didn't tell her any different. My mom and dad was pastors, and so about 6 weeks later on a Sunday morning, I see this girl talking to my mother just. And I can see my mother's face. I can see the pain on my mother's face. I'm going to tell you at that moment, brother, such shame came on me, such condemnation, such fear. Oh, my God, what's my daddy going to do? Because my daddy hated lying. Oh, my daddy hated lying. And what's this girl going to think? What everybody else going to think? I got so embarrassed, so ashamed, so condemned. I went and got in my Chevrolet Vega. Google it sometime. I drove to my daddy's house. This was in 1977. There were no cell phones, no internet, no Facebook. There was nothing. I gathered up all my clothes in a garbage bag, 17 years old. And I left my house that day. Told nobody where I was going. I found a broken down mobile home park and a roach-infested trailer. And I moved in it, signed a lease on it, moved in it. I'd never lived on my own. I was scared to death. There were days, 3 or 4 days, my parents didn't even know where I was. They didn't know. My brothers, I had 2 other brothers living out. They didn't know. They didn't know till I didn't come home that night that I had left home. And they would come by my trailer, my mom and dad, once they found out, because they knew where I worked, they found out where I was living, they would come by and knock on the door, and I wouldn't go to the door. I would not go to the door. I was too afraid. I was too ashamed. I was too embarrassed. I was too condemned. Plus, I knew I was raised in a pastor's home. I knew what I'd done was wrong. And I'm going to tell you, I started making dumb decisions. That one lie led me into all kind of dumb decisions. I started doing drugs. I started living a life of ungodliness. Went on a 3-day methamphetamine high. And when I crashed, I fell asleep with a cigarette in that trailer. And unbeknownst to me, I set it on fire. Not blazing the whole trailer, but the carpet and the bedspread and the curtains. And a drunk friend of mine who's, I'll use his words, he said, my old lady threw me out of the house last night. He came by, saw that my car was there, saw the little bitty flickering flames on the curtains, and broke in my house, pulled me out of it, poured water all of it, put me back in the wet bed, went and got a shower and left. And when he's telling me about it 2 days later, he says, you need to fix your back door. I broke it. Now listen to this. One night, my brother, who's 3 years older than me, was waiting on me at work. He said, Frankie, he said, Bub, I miss you, man. He said, why don't you meet me? When you get off work in the morning, meet me at McDonald's and let's have breakfast. I said, okay, man, I'll do it. And even in 1977, McDonald's Inn was just like it is today. It was packed full. I walk in that McDonald's and I'm looking for my brother. It's packed. And I get about right here. And there's my father. He's got a big smile on his face. Tears are running down his cheeks. He walks right up to me in the middle of McDonald's, grabbed me, bear hugged me, kissed me right in the mouth. Pushed me away and said, Frankie, your mama and I love you. We've already forgiven you. It's time for you to come home. And I'm telling you, I fell like a baby in my father's arms right in the middle of McDonald's. Some of you are going to understand this. I can't explain the weight that lifted off of me in 1 second. 1 second. Months of shame, fear of God, fear of my dad, ashamed of what I've done, doing all this other stuff that just made my life even worse, knowing I could go to hell. And I mean, All of a sudden, it was just, because of my Father's love. See, he had been, all them knocks on the door, he'd been trying to tell me, I've already forgiven you. And then I look at those men and I say, that's why Jesus came. He's our big brother, and he came to set up an appointment with you and your Father, because your heavenly Father loves you.